Rounds of strong to severe thunderstorms continue to pound parts of central and eastern Kentucky. I'm tracking the very latest just ahead.
One of the hardest hit places is Lexington, where high winds knocked down trees and power lines this afternoon. We have team coverage of the damage. Also, a big change at the South Carolina Capitol. We're there as the Confederate flag came down in Columbia.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Palumbo. Strong storms continue to push through the bluegrass. Here's a live look at downtown Lexington, which is about to get hit again. Earlier today, high winds knocked down trees and power lines in Lexington and other places. That's why it's a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has the latest warnings and shows us what's on the First Alert Defender. Chris?
Yeah, busy day to say the least. Yet again, Jennifer, it's 2 days in a row of at least this type of a setup. Obviously, day after day, featuring strong and severe thunderstorms around here and heavy rains. What Defender is tracking now, scattering of thunderstorms across parts of central Kentucky. Severe thunderstorm continues across sections of Rockcastle County, an area that was just absolutely hard hit yesterday. Jackson, Laurel, Rockcastle County. It's northern parts of Laurel and the small southwestern corner of Jackson County. Worst of the storm is right on top of the Mount Vernon area, down toward the Hansford area, and that extends over toward Livingston and will cross into northern parts of Laurel County coming up very shortly. Small part of that, by the way, is clipping far northeastern sections of Pulaski County. So northern Laurel County, we'll see that storm moving in. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning for the western parts of Adair County. That is to the west of Columbia. This does include a small part of western Adair County back toward the Glasgow area for that thunderstorm that is working its way toward the east. A severe thunderstorm warning just expired with this cell that is working toward western parts of Washington and Marion counties. Got to keep an eye on that. Additional strong thunderstorms now beginning to pop again into parts of the bluegrass region. Check this storm out right on top of the Franklin and Shelby County line. That one may have some gusty winds on it. It's in the process of building up. Atmosphere recovered actually quite well in the bluegrass region from those earlier thunderstorms. Lexington Metro, showers and storms moving in from southwest to northeast yet again. Here's the view from our live sky cam. If you were watching us at noon when we had this sky cam trained in the same area when that severe thunderstorm blew through, man, this thing was rocking and rolling. As of now, it's another strong thunderstorm, not a severe thunderstorm, that is on top of the area. From downtown and points to the west into sections of Jessamine County, that's where we're seeing those storms that are working their way through. Put Defender into motion, everything again coming at us from west to east, and notice the little increase now over the past hour of those thunderstorms into parts of central Kentucky. We go through the next little bit. Defender wanted to take a little jump on us into that area. Let's go back and show you everything in motion. But Jennifer, the trend over the next few hours will be for additional showers and storms to develop and roll across some of the same areas. As always, we're watching for the possibility of some severe weather, especially across the south.
Back in soon. Thank you, Chris. A powerful storm with damaging high winds caused a lot of problems in Lexington. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has a look at the damage in our top story at 4.
A Boeing Echo rolled across parts of Fayette County. That was one intense thunderstorm. Radar estimates suggest that winds could have been coming through here around 50 to 60, maybe even up to 70 miles per hour. And you can see some of the damage right here as a tree fell onto this home. It's also, of course, onto some power lines, knocking out power here to the house and also causing some damage inside the home. One of the neighbors was here when everything started coming together.
There was debris flying everywhere, so by the time I shut the lawnmower off, fire department come up, and I followed them up and just punched a hole right through the top of the house. So.
Now, most of the damage that we've seen out here today has been on the minor side, but it just goes to show you, you don't need a tornadic storm to get any type of damage. This was just a severe thunderstorm, and it produced this and many more areas. In Lexington, I'm WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
The storms also led to evacuations at the Kentucky Horse Park, which is hosting the Creation Ichthus Music Festival and the Vietnam Traveling War Memorial. See what happened on WKYT News at 4:30. There are still some traffic issues around town because of storm damage. The biggest issue right now is on Leestown Road. It's closed in both directions between Locust Farm Road and Yarnleton Pike. Several utility poles are down on that stretch of Leestown. Police estimate the road will be closed for another 5 to 7 hours. In eastern Kentucky, there's a lot of damage in Magoffin County. Straight-line winds blew the roof off Conley's feed store on Jackson Road yesterday. The roof landed on Martin Connolly's home, which is next door. A neighbor called to tell him what happened.
And I thought maybe 20 or 30 sheets or something like that. And he said the whole roof. I said the whole roof? Yeah, I said it's laying on top of your house.
Connolly says an insurance adjuster will estimate the cost of the damage this afternoon. We'll have more from Magoffin County at 5:30. In Rockcastle County, high winds yesterday knocked down trees and power lines. They also took down this sign outside a hardware store. Crews have been busy removing debris from all the roads. Remember, we're always tracking storms, even when you're away from your TV. Check our latest forecast on WKYT.com and download the WKYT First Alert Severe Weather app. You can use an interactive radar to zoom into your neighborhood. We're working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Jennifer. A man is in jail accused of firing off multiple shots into an apartment building, and police are still looking for a second suspect in the case. Shots were fired into 2 units at the Pine Brook Apartments about 1:30 this morning. There were 12 people inside between the 2 units, but luckily no one was hurt. Police say it all started after a fight out in the parking lot escalated.
Somebody in the parking lot fired gunshots up at the balcony, and they ended up going through the sliding glass window and in the apartment below them. And then cops flooded. There was casings on the parking lot.
Police did arrest 18-year-old Maxwell Wilburn at a nearby Thornton's gas station. He's charged with 12 counts of wanton endangerment. A second person in the case is still on the run. A woman admits she tried to kill her 2-month-old baby. Tammy Wolfenbarger pled guilty to attempted murder in Lincoln County this morning. Police arrested her back in 2013 for using pillows to try and smother the baby. During today's hearing, Wolfenbarger told the judge she struggles with depression and the baby was the result of an abusive relationship. A judge sentenced her to 10 years in prison. You'll hear from Wolfenbarger ahead on WKYT News at 6 o'clock. That's a quick look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. A new era begins in South Carolina with the Confederate flag no longer flying at the State House. Jonathan Seri is in Columbia, where the flag came down today.
We are witnessing history at the South Carolina State House, the Confederate battle flag being lowered for the final time and being placed on permanent display in the relic room of a state-run war museum.
For it to be coming down of the accord of the people of South Carolina, of the accord of Republicans and Democrats, of the descendants of Confederate soldiers and the descendants of slaves, coming together to say the time has come to take this down so that we can mend our broken hearts. That is something special.
Anti-flag sentiment growing stronger after last month's killing of 9 people at a Charleston church. South Carolina's Senate and House voting for it to come down this week. Governor Nikki Haley signing the bill yesterday alongside the families of the shooting victims.
We will see the Confederate flag come down. We are a state that believes in tradition. We're a state that believes in history. We're a state that believes in respect. So we will bring it down with dignity.
Controversy over the Confederate battle flag not going away anytime soon, with incidents popping up in several states. A truck flying the flag causing a road rage incident on an Orlando highway. And New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu is asking the city council to begin the process of relocating some Confederate monuments.
That was Jonathan Seri reporting, and the controversy isn't over yet, with the KKK planning a rally at the South Carolina State House. And on Capitol Hill, the House canceled a vote on whether to allow the flag to be flown at cemeteries run by the National Park Service. The head of the federal government's personnel office has resigned in the wake of a massive data breach on her watch. Catherine Archuleta's resignation comes one day after her agency disclosed that hackers stole the personal information of more than 21 million people. Federal officials now say hackers not only stole data from 4 million federal employees, but also 19 million people who applied for security clearances and 2 million others used as references. New information today about the FBI raid at the Indiana home of former Subway spokesman Jared Fogle. Now a Florida woman claims the investigation started with her. She says Fogle made inappropriate comments to her 10 years ago, and she was so alarmed she contacted the FBI. The woman says the FBI then recorded her phone conversations with Fogle. Fogle's attorney says the woman's story is an unrealistic fabrication. A sexual assault prevention group is demanding that the White House revoke comedian Bill Cosby's Presidential Medal of Freedom. Promoting awareness, Victim Empowerment launched a petition on the White House website. It comes after newly released court documents revealed Cosby admitted to getting sedatives to give to women he wanted to have sex with. The group says Cosby does not deserve to be on a list of distinguished recipients. A White House spokesman tells USA Today he is not sure whether it's legally possible to revoke the medal. Some patients recovering from a medical condition are finding surprises when they get their bills. Find out why next on WKYT News at 4.